Alright guys, another update video on the vtwin. Got a bit of it done on it. Frame has been painted. Been doing a couple parts, painted some of the spindles up on it. That one there, both spindles. Tie rods. When you move them forward, now you can see because I had to channel them. It's how when you move it back and forth, they sit down in the grooves. This paint it's an Eastwood satin black paint. Would I buy it again? I would if it was something that was bare metal that was never been had original paint on it. I'm having a problem with the satin in certain places where it's been splotchy, which I don't think, maybe you can pick it up on the camera, but some spots are very splotchy. Like the bumper come out real good because the bumper was basically bare metal when I put it on there. Other panels that come out bad was this rear hatch panel here. That didn't come out too good. But everything else come out pretty good. That little side bump out panel there, that came out the side of the frame. Transmission plate came out decent. But basically what I've been doing on this is kind of just starting to piece it together. I've got the lower steering support in there. I've got the clutch basically installed. I got to rework the spring on that. This is the tensioner for the transmission. For the transmission chain that runs to the rear, just for the axle. So I got that. I got no keyways and nothing yet, but everything, the axle's bolted and solid, but I don't have the keyways put in for it yet. Same thing, I got the brake all mounted up on this side. Got the disc, everything's tightened up. I've got two aluminum spacers. I'll go on the other side, see if I can show you that. Two aluminum spacers to space out the brake caliper from the frame, because the frame actually bumps out. You see where it bumps out, where it's been welded? It bumps out a little bit, so I had to space that out. Top portions to mount the rear fenders. But that's pretty much it on the chassis. I've just got a couple more things to put on it. Still waiting on parts for the motor. Don't know when the hell that's going to be there. So I need the motor to be done. I need to get the transmission for it. It's probably going to be an EC700, just because it's like the Reman. It's just easier to deal with. So I need an engine, transmission, throttle, kill switch. I already have the push button for the dash installed. I'll do a video on how I will wire this up. Tires, I got to clean the tires. There's a frame from the previous video. That'll be another project. Steering shaft, the pedal, the brake master, and all that. The steering wheel. Someone asked me about the steering wheel. The steering wheel actually isn't that big. It's a 15-inch steering wheel. I bought it as a kit. It's got cotter pins on the back side so they don't come loose. They will focus. But it's not that big of a steering wheel. On my FXT, I've got a 17-inch wheel. That's a big wheel. The only reason I have a 17 on my FXT is because you can literally not turn the dang steering on it. When you got all the weight on there, it's a pain in the ass to turn. But that's where I'm at right now as far as the vtwin build. Just putting stuff back together on it. Painting, doing little touch-ups. I just got to start reassembling it, and hopefully I get the motor done, and that'll be done. Got the big truck out here. Had to do some fuel filter swap to it. I had a problem where it's coming back from the track. I was driving this back, and the kept stalling out on me. It would run good, and then it would idle down coming off the highway, and it would stall out completely. It would not start back up for a long while. I had to go over, pop the hood, and manually start the pump. Manually use the mechanical pump to prime fuel into it, and then it would barely start. So I got back to the house, and I pulled the fuel filter off, tried blowing through it. I couldn't even blow through it, so I hooked up the air compressor, and I blew out a bunch of, was it glaze or slime gel. So I'm obviously having a problem with my tanks gelling up. I put some transmission fluid in there, and I put a little bit of transmission fluid, and I put some anti-gelling additive in it, along with some other things. So it's got a new primary filter and a new secondary filter on it. So that should be good. We'll let that sit for a couple days. It's got two brand new filters on it. I've got two more that I'll send with the guy that's gonna pick this up from me. and then we'll be looking for a new rig to tow the trailer. Go ahead and walk over. Pull this down. Kind of been doing a little cleanup in here. It's real dirty. This wonderful thing has given me nothing but problems on the lower chain. The horizontal chain that's on here has never given me a problem, only when I don't tighten it up. But the bottom chain started giving me a problem. The new track we're running, and I think it's just our track because it's so tight of a surface that it's starting to stretch the chains and it's starting to break certain things underneath there, along with my bars and stuff to tighten it up. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. If we lay up down underneath the mower here. Whoop, that sounded expensive. There's a bar underneath here that I have an idler on, which basically puts tension on this chain, and it's got a large spring that runs on it, so when it rotates, if I could do this with one hand, it holds tension on the chain from the clutch to the bottom of the gearbox. So that's been giving me a bit of a problem there. So I think I have that corrected. Basically, I just bent it over a bit, put a new idler on it, and put a different spring. I also bought 2 more springs just in case if I have another problem. But yeah, I've got the hood off on it. I got to do an oil change in it. It's well past due on an oil change. Yeah, I just cleaned up the trailer in general. That needs to be mounted. A couple other things. Got the shoes hanging, neck brace, other crap, spare tires, stuff like that. But yeah, a couple people are asking me about this. I'll run through this real quick. What this is here. This here is a Digitron. I think it's a 36 DT or something like that. But this is one. It comes with the dual EGTs. I got the dual EGT sensor one because I want to know what both my cylinder temperatures are reading at all times. Like right now, it gives me the bottom one, which is 80 degrees, and the top one, which is 78, because it hasn't been started. But it also gives me RPM too. Let me see. Okay, so the bottom one here shows 0 because it ain't running, but this will give me an RPM, and it'll still read the one EGT, and it'll switch between the 2 EGTs if there's something wrong. So basically, I'll show you. I have shift lights, warning lights set up that will change if something goes wrong. Like I have my EGT set up for 1200 degrees. If it hits 1200 degrees, basically it'll throw all 3 on. Basically 800, one light, 980 or 1000, it'll throw a second light, and then 1200 throws all 3 lights, and right there I'll know, something's wrong. I leaned out. I'll shut the thing off before I do damage. But lights up for the night and all that, so it'll automatically go off. A couple other things on this motor. Canon filters, both sides, on dual Makunis. It's got full braided line for the bleeder system, the breather system on it. Basically, let both valve covers tease off to a Moroso bleed off tank. But yeah, this is the steering wheel I was talking about, the 17-inch steering wheel. It is a big steering wheel. That's my hand, so you can imagine what the size of the steering wheel is. Fuel tank. Someone asked me. I'm just running a Lucky 7 fuel tank. It's basically a go-kart fuel tank. It's a 4-quart. So I don't really burn that much gas with this. This thing's actually pretty economical as far as fuel consumption. Oil consumption, different story. It doesn't burn the oil. It just I think I have a head gasket issue on the number 2 cylinder. Every now and then it'll drip out a couple things of oil. But that's it with this mower right now. We've got the race this weekend. Come out on the 28th to Lazy Springs Recreational Park. We'll be out there. Hopefully this thing will hold together since I fixed that, and we'll be out there running around. Ain't nothing like a little 100 horsepower action. And yes, it does have that much power. Everyone says I'm full of myself. Okay, come see it on the track. Then I'll show you the dyno sheet. Dual disc brake with a Honda Goldwing rear brake caliper. Rear sprockets, EC, everything's EC on the rear end. The axle's out of a BMI, it's from BMI carts. Sprockets and all that are from combination from EC and from Surplus Center. Motor is basically, it's a BRC motor. The parts on it, some Cub Cadet, a lot of the internals are Zach Kerber parts, along with a special custom ground cam. Sorry, a billet cam, adjustable billet cam. Basically this brake system too, this is out of a, I think it's a Honda Accord. It's a slave cylinder for a clutch. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We've got that going on, GP twin builds going on. This, I've fixed this, so this will be ready for the race. So basically just bear with me. I've got a couple things going on. We'll have to see where it leads. I know I have the Minimo or FX Lite that we're going to start building. That'll be a fun little build because that'll go quick. There's not a lot of rules to it. I mean, there's a bunch of rules, but not that many. This, eventually I'm going to do a full rebuild on. Possibly even a new chassis for this. Because this thing's over 2 years old. A couple months ago it turned 2 years old. And it's still good for the technology, but, you know, things can be changed. You know, you'll build something and you'll see how it is, and you know you can change it. So this one, we'll have a video on this soon. GP Twin, we'll get that going again. Have some more parts for that and start putting that together. Hopefully get the motor done so y'all can hear that fire up. And then we'll start on the Minimo. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you want, rate, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to get a video out each week. Sometimes that doesn't work out between working on the track, just work in general, and just the everyday stuff that everyone goes through. But I'll try to get some videos this weekend of this mower out at the track and a couple other guys. They got some pretty cool mowers. See if we can start some trouble down there.